doing another operator tier list. Right now, we are going to be doing just the defenders. We're going to be doing a list for the attackers, solo queue players, and we're going to do a weapons tier list. So right now, we're doing defenders. So just defenders. We're going to start with Fenrir. So Fenrir is going to be marked by, let's say, he's going to be marked by Glaz. So this is going to be Fenrir. Fenrir, I'm going to A tier. He can be really aggressive with the speed and the MP7. He has a decent shotgun as well. He has a bailiff to set the side up. In his traps, he's going to have 5 of them. Only 3 of them can be active, though, but you can change them around from a distance. That is kind of nice. But overall, people aren't going to be able to figure out where his traps are all the time. And when you walk into a trap, honestly, it leaves you pretty defenseless unless they're like close, like shotgun range. So Fenrir, especially at the start of the season, is definitely going to be at A tier to start. I did one of every ops yesterday, but we're going to do a little bit more detail for each defender. Smoke. Smoke is a little bit worse than before, but overall, I do think that Smoke is still a solid S tier pick. He is not as strong as he was before, but he is still going to be the guy on site, the anchor, the hold it down, the denial. He is still the guy. So, still really strong, but in certain situations where you need his shield, or you need a shield, you're going to just call somebody over and like, hey, I need someone to bring a shield for me. There you go. Mute, obvious, another S. I mean, yeah, the 3 armor sucks, but shotgun SMG 11 with the nitro and intel denial / wall denial, you can't really deny that. So, Pulse. Pulse is where it starts to get a little iffy. Pulse is really good situationally. He can be really strong, but overall, there's not that many situations where Pulse is going to excel. His gun is pretty good with the 1.5 with the UMP. And he has a nitro that literally plays off his ability. I'm going to put Pulse at the C tier because he is very good situationally, but situations very far in between. Castle, B tier. Again, really strong in a lot of situations, but it really depends on the site and what you plan on doing, and it requires a lot of teamwork and coordination. So Castle is going to sit a little bit low, but Castle will make and break a lot of defense holds. As we say, hi YouTube, you can. Good to go on YouTube, so. But Castle is really strong, but overall in just a random like ranked match, picking Castle just randomly is probably going to get your teammates confused and upset. So you have to kind of play around like with what you're going to bring and what you're going to do. Doc to me is a very easy to play operator. I mean, MP5 with a 1.5 scope, you can't really go wrong with the current meta. The MP5 with a 1.5 scope is going to be your bread and butter. So, good gun. You have bailiffs up the side, and the heals are going to heal anyone. You got 3 of them. Can't really go wrong with that. B tier is where Doc is going to sit. Because, I mean, you can put Doc for literally any site, and you're probably going to do all right. We got Rook. I'm going to place Rook the first E tier. Because Rook is just a... Rook is like picking Doc, except you're just not confident in yourself. Like most people, when they pick Rook, they're picking Rook purely because I am getting slammed, so I want to at least bring armor for my teammates. Basically the same setup as Doc, but you can't make site setup, and you have about the same gun. So I think Doc is just an overall better pick. Yeah, they run as Rook because they gave all their teammates site armor, so they can just run around, do whatever they want, and you know, if it works out, it works out. But I mean, only because Rook has a 1.5 scope is I'll raise him up slightly. Because I mean, it's not like I wouldn't consider Rook throwing, but it is kind of like, why do we have a Rook? Capkin, I'm gonna put Capkin at the A tier. In this current meta, the crouch walk, the route walk, the rush is very, very strong. Capkin is really has a good gun. He has traps that will kill you if you don't check. Will slow down the attackers, or you're gonna get easy frags. And he's gonna have a nitro. Capkin's really strong. I wouldn't quite put him at the S tier currently, but he's still very, very strong. That's yeah. Bandito, I'm placing at C tier with the Pulse. Again, kind of the same situation as Pulse. Very situationally, very, very strong. But if you run Bandit over and over on sites, it doesn't make sense. You don't really have utility to really do anything. he's really good at the like denying a wall, tricking the wall, etc. And he has MP7, 3 speed with a nitro. So overall frag potential very, very high, but you are kind of locked to I need to keep the wall closed. Jager. So this op is a little tricky because I would always say S tier, but right now within the current meta, I place him a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. He doesn't have observation blockers as well. That is out now for the new season, Dread Factor. But yeah, Jager is... I'm going to shift him a little bit lower because we're going to put his counterpart, Wamai, a little bit higher. Wamai has, I believe, has more kill potential because he does have a 1.5 scope on his MP5. You are able to rotate your utility around a lot faster. Jager is still obviously really strong, but you're going to see a lot of people like not want to bring Jager, or the utility is going to be out of position for where you are getting grenaded at. So Wamai can just mix it up on the fly, can be a lot more aggressive with his impacts, and Jager is more a concrete setup, which you're going to need a 5 stack, and you're gonna have a very specific reason why of where you want every piece of utility. Especially with Brava, the ADSs are usually going to get hacked or Twitch, you know, like it's really easy to destroy his ADSs. Wamai's are a little bit trickier because you never know where they're going to be at. With Jager, you can kind of guesstimate where they're probably going to be. Tachanka, I mean, he is not as strong as Smoke in my eyes still, but I'm going to place Tachanka down to the B tier because his weaponry is not bad. Actually, no. I got to place him over for this range. Like, I think that he has more value than Rook, but still has good weaponry. You can, if you are good with this launcher, you can deny off an area fairly well. And he is going to have a shield and can set up the site, so... It's not a throw pick, but it's one of those... You really got to love that gun with like a 1.5 or a 2x, and if you frag out, I mean, it'll be fine. Frost, easy A tier for me. In fact, I would argue that Frost is now an S tier operator. I'm gonna make that argument right now. With Smoke losing his shield and Smoke being a very strong operator, Frost going to S tier because you can pair a Frost with a Smoke, and Frost gives Smoke his shield, her shield, and then you just play Frost as you normally would. You have a shotgun to help set up. You have a amazing 1.5 scoped weapon that does a lot of damage, and you have traps that were going to kill, incapacitate, or slow down the attackers. So I feel like a Smoke Frost combo is going to be probably the meta, if I had to be honest. Next, we got Valkyrie. Valkyrie's an easy S tier operator, good gun, nitro, cams, you can place them anywhere, and you can play off those cameras and get free nitros almost every single round. Or just feed your team intel, so that's why Valkyrie is banned so much. You can place their cameras literally anywhere. We got Kavera. Kavera is a little bit more of a throw pick. I am placing Kavera down with the Rook because situationally, very situationally, she can do fairly well, but when D tier is the tier of why are we bringing this operator? And Cav just doesn't shine in any capacity that other ops, you know, don't already do. So because we have D tier, I want to place the first E tier operator, and that's going to be Clash, which is, please do not bring this operator. Clash is more than likely going to lose you a lot of games. You're going to lose a lot of games, and you're probably going to get slammed. So don't bring the Clash. But SenVale, I made Clash. I'm like, yeah, you're probably not a very high rank. Clash, I know, is a little bit stronger in low elo, but I am looking at Plat plus elo right now. So Clash is going to be more of a throw pick. Horrible guns. You can't really defend yourself. You can kind of keep them back with your shield, but that's one teammate that doesn't have a gun. You want me to do Goyo? Goyo is losing his nitro, but he's going to keep impacts. I do think that Goyo is still going to be a very strong operator. So I'm still placing Goyo up at the S tier. But yeah, I made Clash, yeah, but you know specifically that Clash is a throw up. Goyo is still going to be strong. I mean, he was a monster with the 1.5 scope, Vector, and the Nitro. But no Nitro, still have Impact, so Impacts still can make decent power plays. And you can still be aggressive and deny. Doc, rank B, Glaz 8. This is not Glaz, this is Fenrir. This is only defenders. So this is my Fenrir marker. That's why I have Glass up there, so people are like, what? I was trying to think of a ridiculous attacker up that I could put up there in place of Fenrir. Mira, easy S tier. Easy S tier. Mira is very strong. When you have a Mira on the board, you place that Mira down, and the attackers are going to have to focus purely on how to deal with the Mira. Vector is an amazing gun. You have a Nitro, and you have a shotgun to set up everything. You can set up the site by yourself, and you basically set the general pace for everybody playing that round. Legion, I am going to place a Legion at S tier. I think Legion is one of the best, most versatile ops in the game. You can roam, you can hard roam, you can soft roam, you can anchor, you can do whatever you want as Legion. He can basically do whatever you need to do in the round. You stop the rat, crouch walk, which is the current meta of just like, you know, get up in there, like make an aggressive push. And he has a T5, which is an amazing gun, and impacts to make aggressive plays. So Legion, saw it up. All right, who next? Echo. Echo with a Supernova is incredibly strong with the bearing, with its cameras, or you can run this MP5, which is still really good, but the Echo shotgun is something that is going to give you nightmares. I'm going to place Echo at the B tier because of how much kill potential he has with that shotgun combo now with the camera follow-up. So you're not really using Echo for plant denial really anymore, because I mean, you might be able to get one zap on them, but it's going to go get shot instantly afterwards. So I think Echo kind of works like a pseudo combination of Smoke meets Valkyrie right now, in terms of like, you know, running around and just kind of fragging out. So I'm gonna place Echo at the B tier. We got the Ella. Ella, I'm going to place more at the C tier range. I mean, Ella is versatile and you can play her literally on any site, but her traps are some of the weakest leave and forget traps. Her gun is okay. It's not amazing, but it's usable, it's tolerable, and she can set up the site. Ella can bring I believe she can bring a shield though, so if you do have a Smoke who needs a shield, if you don't go Frost, I mean, Ella is another option. So who is the best defender with a 1.5 scope? That is a good question, and that brings me to Warden. I think Warden is an S tier operator. This is a ranked tier list. I mean, I think Warden's S tier operator. He is the best 1.5 scope on defense. Is a very stable gun. And as an added bonus, he also can shut down smoke and flash plants. So, and you are a 2-speed with a Nitro. So he is just a Swiss Army knife of death. So maybe you could try to argue that he could be A tier because his utility is a little bit mediocre, but I just feel like he has too much frag potential on the defending side that he should probably be S tier. Vigil, I'm placing Vigil near this range, but I'm gonna place him slightly higher up because I do feel like he has a little bit more to offer in terms of the roam. When there's Vigil running around, like, the attackers are probably going to know about it, but you're never going to really be able to pinch him down. You can deny a lot of time, slow the attackers out, and that is something that a lot of people don't focus on as defenders, is that time management. If a Vigil can keep the attackers occupied trying to clear him for like 1.5 to 2 minutes, you're gonna have no time to really push the site. Over half the ops are in S tier. I think a lot of ops are S tier. Like, I mean, it's hard to put anyone here under anyone else in S tier. I do feel like I need to place Warden slightly down because I'm looking at everybody else and it's like everybody else has a very solid like reason, and Warden is more, I just want to run around and shoot. So I'm going to place Warden down slightly, even though I do think that he is the best 1.5 scoped on defense. And Legion too, I mean, Legion, I can make the argument that he could be slightly further down because he's very versatile, but he doesn't really like, oh, we need a Legion this round. Like, you can get away with the other operators. So there you go. I lowered them. All right, you got Alibi. I think Alibi, okay, so she lost her shields. So she has prox alarms and observation blockers. I think that makes her a lot worse. Otherwise, I'd probably place her here in the current meta. But I think with her current kit that she is going down to here. Smoke is not S. I wasn't sure what to do with Smoke. My argument that I made was like, if you pair a Smoke with a Frost, then Smoke is the same as he's ever been. Because how, I mean, this is not for comp. This is for purely for ranked. So, with the observation blocker, it's a little. You're gonna get 3 of them on certain ops, and you can place them down, and it's gonna make a wall that you cannot see through with your drone. You can drive through it, no problem, but it's gonna make a wall that you cannot see through with your drone. So if you place them like on doors or cutoffs, like, then the drone is gonna be a little bit more annoying, and you're gonna get 3 of them when you have them. The only ops that I saw that made sense was Jager and Alibi, because all the other operators either had impacts or nitros. But if you're running a specific strat that you want observation blocker, there are other ops like Cade is gonna have like a nitro and observation blockers, which is just like first and rather than a nitro. Cade S tier, best wall denial in the game. Who else we got? This is just defenders, by the way. This is Fenrir. Gotta make sure I keep saying that. Maestro. I can't place him here. I'll place him Maestro down at D tier. I think that in the current meta, that he is more of a D tier operator. The Meatball. The LMG is nice and is great, and his cameras are pretty decent, but actually I can't place him there. I can't place him next to Kavera. I just can't do it. Go BC tier, whatever. I mean, yeah, I just having to sit in your camera that long to use your cams, and then like Maestro's good, but like there's some reason like there's just so many other better options to pick. His cams can't move. Like Echo or Valkyrie has more cameras and is a little bit more mobile. Like Maestro just falls at the wayside in terms of intel. Mozzie, probably one of the best roamers in the game. I'm gonna place him at the either B or A. I'm gonna place him at B tier because I think that like in terms of roaming he's really strong, but like in terms of just a general overall picture, I do think that he falls a little bit. Pests are nice, but doesn't really slow down the attackers too much with his pests. But if you get a camera, you can kind of function like Valkyrie, work a Nitro, etc. And his kill potential is very high up there, like Warden. In fact, I'm gonna place him A tier. Like I convinced myself. I think that he does bring a little bit more utility than, let's say, Warden, but Warden has a little bit more frag potential than Mozzie. Mozzie's not S tier. I don't think Mozzie's S. Who else we got? Oryx. See, this is a tough one for me. I'm floating between here. Doesn't have a 1.5 scope anymore, but is still a really good roamer. I'm gonna place Oryx at I'm gonna place Oryx at the B tier. I'll place Oryx at the B tier because he doesn't have that 1.5 scope anymore. If he had the 1.5 scope, I'd definitely put him up here, no problem. Don't even think about it. Honestly, could potentially be higher, but his gun is the same as Legion's, but you're really you are functioning as a roamer as Oryx. You're not gonna really be sitting in the site. You can set up the site, but you're normally going to be running around and trying to be aggressive. Aruni's B tier. I'm placing Aruni at the... I want to place Aruni at the B tier, but I'm like looking at A and thinking... But yeah, I'm going to place Aruni at the B tier. But she does have one of the strongest guns in the game on defense. She has the DMR, which no other defender has DMR, and it will put people down very, very fast. And it's pretty good. The gates, though, are a little bit lackluster, but it does... deny a little bit of gadgetry from the attackers. So, but her being a 3-umber is going to make her very stationary. But with a DMR, you're mostly ADS anyways, so you don't notice as much as you would think. But it does make a lot of audio. What else we got? We got Melusi. I think Melusi in the current meta for ranked is still a really good operator. In fact, I would argue that she's more at the A tier range. You just have to get over the fact that you are not a 3-speed anymore. You are a 3 armor, which is a little annoying, but you still have an MP5, which MP5 rips heads. The chaps are going to win you a lot of matches because most people are going to have to, then like destroying the Banshees are going to give a lot of audio. You're going to be able to defend yourself with plenty of time. So I think Lucy belongs at A tier, but like I do want to kind of shift her down to B tier. I'm gonna leave her at A. You have the Thunderbird. So Thunderbird got a recent buff. Her heals are going from 30 health to 20 health, and they're going to heal like 2.5 times faster per station. So right now, I know this is more of a like I would place her here on PC, but I would raise her up a little bit for console. So I'm going to meet you guys halfway and just place her next to Duck. Her gun on PC is horrible. I really hate it. But her heals aren't bad compared to Doc anymore. But she's losing a nitro and impacts, I believe. So it really is just her gun, and she has good heals. So I'll leave her at B tier. Do what you will, but I do think that she should probably be a little bit lower. But I know on console she is a powerhouse, so that's why I'm leaving her at B tier. What else we got? Thorn. Thorn is somewhere I look at, I'm like, it doesn't belong anywhere up here, and now I'm shifting between these. I am leaning more here with Thorn because I think Thorn has, honestly, the gadget has never really like, oh my god, they have a Thorn. Like, I've never thought that in my life. Gun is good. Her kit is good. Like, you have a good gun and a good secondary gun, but her gadget is honestly mid as hell. You're picking Thorn usually just for the gun. But her traps, I mean, will work as proximity alarms, but there's a lot of other things that would work. Like, I feel like comparing Ella to Thorn, Ella functions overall a lot better. Azami, S tier. I mean, Azami is probably single-handedly the best defender in the game here. Let me shift her all the way forward. This is not in order, but I want to make sure that Azami's first because she deserves to be there. Definitely the best operator in the game, on defense at least. Solus, I mean, Solus is like hovering up at the top instantly. I'm gonna say Solus is S tier because if you have a good player on Solus, Solus is going to be a goddamn nightmare. She is very annoying to have to deal with, and runouts and spawn kills and everything like that are going to happen a lot more because you're going to be able to have the intel on where people are at when they're defenseless on their cameras. So boom. The only downside to Solus is that you have to run a P90 with 1x, which is a little annoying, but you kind of get over it. It's not as bad as you would think. I think that's it for defenders. Yeah, that's it. This is the tier list for defenders for Operation Dread Factor. If you guys have any agreements or disagreements, let me know now. If you want to say like, hey, Smoke should be at B tier, here's the time to make the argument. But if it's just shifting one operator up or down a tier, I mean, that means you mostly agree. So this is my list. So you may look at this and be like, well, SenVale, I completely disagree with this, but this is how I just view the game in terms of just a ranked setting. So overall, here it is. If you have any agreements or disagreements, make sure to leave that down below in the comments, and make sure to subscribe and drop a like for more lists like this. We're going to be doing attackers fairly shortly. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be out tomorrow. Otherwise, it's probably already out. It will be linked right after the video. So, hey, appreciate you guys. Till next time. Peace out.